In your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, you deserve to live your best life. Say goodbye to preconceived notions and let's shatter those stereotypes together. Get ready to own your vitality because age, well, that's just a number.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us today on Age is Just a Number. If you're joining us for the first time or you haven't, please take a minute and subscribe and like the channel and the video. And we have a special guest with us today. This is Terry Miller, my friend from the gym. So Terry, thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you know what, everybody, we want to talk about, so Terry is your 62, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 62, healthy, fit lifestyle, and even when there's been some, little detours in that, talking about how the fit lifestyle has helped you stay healthy and fit and so forth. And so maybe let's just start with, when did you, because you've been training for a long time, right? When did you start training?
1988.
And have you been basically steady all the way through there?
Over that course, about 2 years off altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're not going to talk about this part of things, but you were a professional at one point, a bodybuilder.
A Canadian champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were the Canadian national champion.
Yes.
Is that the CFFB? Is that what it is?
CBBF.
CBBF. Okay. And when was that?
2003.
Okay. And so obviously you do the competition, you win the competition. I remember we've talked about this and you kind of said you just weren't prepared to do what would be required to compete at that level or at the next level.
Yeah, I had a successful career at the time. I was earning a business and I just didn't have the time to dedicate to a full-time career of bodybuilding.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, we talk about this on our channel too, is, let's just be honest, you can't go to those levels without higher and higher levels of assistance. How's that?
Yes,
so
that's exactly the
right.
case.
So more PEDs and different levels and amounts, et cetera, et cetera. So
well, exactly. When it comes to competitive sports, in some areas, depending on the show and the competition, it is almost a requirement to start using PEDs.
right. And so you made that decision that what got you there wasn't going to get you to the next level, and the next level was not something you were prepared to sacrifice potentially your health to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. So now jump forward from 2000 to, or 2003 to now we're in the 2020s. And like we said, you're in your 60s now. Let's just start with, what does your nutrition plan look like? We'll talk about each thing, but what does your nutrition plan look like then? Because you're obviously, fit guy. You could, you're still working out regularly and everything, but let's start with that. What does your nutrition plan look like?
It's between 4 and 5 meals a day.
Okay.
Spaced out evenly. More on the high protein side, with quite a bit of fiber and carbohydrates as well.
Okay. So let's do this. What's a typical, I don't even call it my breakfast. I call it my first meal because all my meals are numbered. But what does your first meal of the day look like then?
It's quite simple. One piece of toast.
Okay.
And then I proceed to the gym and carry on from there.
Okay.
Meal 2 will be at 10 a.m., which will be 1.5 cups of oatmeal. And then lunch, usually 12:30, 1 o'clock. It will progress into 8 to 10 ounces of chicken and a vegetable.
So leading up to that, you're not really consuming any protein in the morning then, up to that point?
From time to time, I'll use a protein supplement.
Yeah.
So I'm more leaning towards a concentrated protein, which will be chicken, steak.
Sure.
I'll use eggs as well.
Sure. But I mean, so you're having a bowl of oatmeal after the gym.
Yes.
Right. Is there protein with that as well for you, or
on occasion? It depends how I feel, because I usually try to introduce the protein at the 10 a.m.
Okay.
Meal with the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I just use a protein powder supplement.
Right.
one scoop, add that to my oatmeal, and that'll hold me through till 12:30.
Right.
When I'll introduce real food.
Got it. And is that just you figured out that that's what works best for your body? Is that kind of how that?
Yeah. It comes down to what is going to be the greatest benefit. Mm-hmm. You can buy a variety of supplements. Some are good, some not so much. But I find that real food is much more beneficial. So I'm very strict on the diet, except on weekends. On Saturday, I do what I want, and I'll eat what I want.
Okay. I appreciate my high-calorie meal or free meal for sure. And the value of it, we know it's good for you mentally, it's good for you physically. Now, so that covers the nutrition point of things. And, for those of you that are watching that you're saying, hey, I haven't really gotten going, or maybe I'm a little bit older. I think, Terry, you're a great example that you whether you keep it going throughout like Terry's done, or maybe you start right where you're at, because you can pick it up and start right now.
Absolutely.
Right? So, okay, so let's talk about your training. What's your training like?
5 days a week.
Okay.
Cardio has been introduced recently. It's not something I always did prior to my workouts, but now I've decided to do it.
Okay. So you do cardio first?
Cardio first.
Okay.
Working out 5 times a week, of course, and 1 body part per session. Sometimes 2.
Okay.
Like I'll combine back and rear delts, for instance.
Right.
With legs, quads, and hamstrings are always trained separately.
Okay. So if you're doing, roughly what do you do per body part? So if you're doing quads, are you doing 2 exercises, 3 exercises? What does that look like?
With quads, we aim for 4.
Okay.
I will do usually 18 sets.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And I go with the higher repetition. Nothing under 15 reps. I find it does not work for me. I'm not getting the results I want.
Yeah.
So 15 reps. I have gone as high as 25 per set, but not often.
Okay. And what is it like for your joints? Is it easier with the with the lighter weight?
I think so.
Yeah.
I find, there's been situations where I've gone to my max weight and always pushed for 1 or 2 extra repetitions of that exercise. But after the workout, I'm not feeling that great.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I want to have that mobility where I can still, walk around and not be cramped up.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that taking your max weight, reducing it by 30%, and increasing your repetitions between, say, 15 and 20 produces best results for joint care and overall well-being. You're not totally exhausted.
Yeah. Well, and obviously it's working for you because, like we said, at 62, you're fit and healthy and everything else. And
exercise, bodybuilding, any kind of aerobic activity, anything to get you off the couch will benefit you in the long run.
Yeah. Right. So speaking of getting off the couch, what else do you do? Are you like an outdoors guy? Are you out at the beach? Are you walking around? What else are you doing for just activity wise?
Activity wise, dog walks, big dog walks are quite popular.
Okay.
I like exploring the island, hiking, even going to the beach. I'm at the beach quite often in Machosen.
Okay. Which one?
Taylor Beach.
Okay.
So I enjoy that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not one to sit around and do nothing. I always have to be doing something.
Okay. So now another thing is for you, it's obviously a lifestyle, but it's not just you, right? It's your wife trains with you as well.
Yes, Audra's with me. She's been a training partner for over 10 years. She's fully dedicated as well. She's a great assistance. With any kind of my exercises or direction, encouragement, she's there.
Yeah. So how does that help the two of you, just from a relationship point of view? That must be a positive that you guys are training together. And working together through something that you both enjoy.
Absolutely. It's part of our recreation, and I think it builds a strong relationship. It definitely adds to mental stability. You know, we've got pressures from our careers. We have pressures from family. There's many things going on. I find with bodybuilding and weightlifting, you can set objectives and goals, pursue them, and ultimately be victorious. And with a partner beside you, encouraging you, all the better.
Sure. Yeah. So, and for you now, obviously, as you said, from going back 20 years now, this is more about lifestyle than about competition or anything like that.
Absolutely.
If you were to look back and say, if we were to say, what are the 3 keys to my successful lifestyle, health and fitness lifestyle, what would you say those would be?
Number 1 is discipline.
Okay.
You have to discipline yourself in order to continue on a daily basis, or 5 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Discipline is your number 1 objective. Secondly, you have to be patient. Results do not occur overnight. It takes time.
And that's a really good one, because especially in today's world, right, of instant gratification, I think of how we see the influx of people at the gym in September and January.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then where are they in February and October?
Well, not everybody makes it through, but it's really up to you. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say, is that the way I want to look to society? Is that the way I want to look to myself? Does it make me feel good?
Right.
I think that's important, you know. It's not worth letting your body go and being miserable and going into some type of depression when you can prevent it yourself. And it's only an hour and 20 minutes a day. That's it.
Sure. Yeah, very good. Okay, so discipline, patience, what's number 3?
Discipline, patience, and I would say attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude's important, and diet. Let's
Sure.
face it, 80% of bodybuilding or weightlifting, I don't care what you're doing, is diet. And
Sure.
20% is training. So just making those slight adjustments can change your life.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining me today. Thank you all for joining us today. And we're putting out more and more content. So if you haven't, please take a minute, subscribe, and give us a like. And we'll see you next time. See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.